Underway in Denver, and Fresno State controls the opening tip.
And Utah will mix it up. They'll play 85% man, 15% zone. The zone can confuse people. They do a great job with it.
Edo over Pirtle. It's no good. Tipped out to the perimeter where Brandon Tail takes over.
And Fresno State, primarily a man-to-man team, also will mix it up with a little bit of zone.
Here's Pirtle guarded by Edo.
I don't know why he passed that. He was at the basket, really.
And now 8 seconds on the shot clock. Loveridge, deep three. It's good. Just mentioned it over the starting lineups. Loveridge shoots 40% from deep.
Well, when you've taken 307 shots this year, 214 are threes, that tells you what he does.
And that's his 87th three of the season. Only Gabe York has made more in the Pac-12 this year.
And here's the zone for Utah.
Guerrero trying to answer. That one is short. And the rebound to Kyle Kuzma, the sophomore from Flint, Michigan.
I like him a lot. He's a terrific athlete who's only going to get better.
Cullen Russo guarding Kuzma, ties him up, and good defense there by Russo. Pirtle saves it though. What hustle from the big guy.
That was pretty good scouting. Cullen Russo taking away the left shoulder that time, and that's what you want to do with Kuzma.
Taylor launches from deep. Pirtle the offensive rebound over Edo.
Great pass.
And a cut by Bonham leads to 2.
You know, when you play with a good passing big man, you never stand still when he gets the ball because you have confidence that he's going to deliver like he did there.
Edo tied up inside, head stripped away, gets it back, goes up with it, out of bounds. Great defense on the interior by Utah.
Well, take a look at this pass by Jakob Pirtle. It's there. He's got the ball really deep in the low post, and people don't stand still. Great cut there by Bonham.
Rebound so far, 4-0 in favor of Utah. Pirtle missed it, gets another rebound. His putback is no good. Missed a couple in tight.
When you shoot 66%, you don't miss too many of those.
3 by Lewis, rolls around and out. Loveridge feeds Pirtle. And Edo got a little too close. Didn't like that call. Rodney Terry was looking for a travel.
Well, obviously, you can see what Utah's game plan is. They've thrown the ball to Pirtle a few times. They've thrown it to Kuzma in the low post. That's a foul. He has very good feet and good spin moves on the baseline. You got to get your hands off him, though. Little zone from Fresno. Got to find the shooters.
Kuzma lost it, had to do too much. Russo dribbling behind the back. Russo end-to-end. Oh, baby! Cullen Russo puts Fresno State on the board in a big way.
What a play. Goes behind his back at 6'9" and then slams it. Utah, not a good job in transition stopping the ball, but that was a heck of a play.
Here's Pirtle, tied up by Russo, and he takes it away. Russo wants to run the floor again. Russo's going to try to do the same exact thing, and he's fouled. Let's take another look at that beautiful behind the back and then finish by Cullen Russo.
Well, Cullen Russo here at 6'9", goes behind it, already went behind his back and slam. Maybe even a foul, too.
Kyle Kuzma charged with this foul after Russo got to the basket again. And he makes the first free throw. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. So far, Jakob Pirtle 0 for 2 with 1 turnover. It's a 5-3 Utah lead. The Utes have turned it over on back-to-back possessions.
And Terrell Carter in the game, who's obviously going to lean on him quite a bit right there in the low post.
Three on the way for Loveridge is good.
That one bounce that Burkott Chapman made in the lane and that kick out to the wing is all they needed.
Second three for Loveridge. He has 6 of Utah's 8 points. Russo, baseline. Out to Marvell Harris. His first shot attempt rolls around and out. Mountain West Player of the Year. He was the MVP of the Mountain West tournament. Burkott Chapman. And a foul is called on Cullen Russo with 15:27 to go first half. Utah out to an early 5-point lead.
Live by. The ball is our golden ticket, and they value every possession, especially when the clock is winding down. He also said it's important that their coaching staff has men on the bench that have coached in Final Fours. It gives them confidence in close games.
Jamie, they've committed fewer turnovers than their opponent in 29 of their 34 games, but they are having trouble on the boards. And now it's 9-1 in favor of Utah.
Well, this Utah team is much bigger and more athletic than Fresno State.
Bonham makes it 10-3, 5 minutes into the first half. Russo. And Carter could not get the rebound. Another one over to Utah.
They play that zone very well. Fresno State's got to attack it in the foul line area or at the baseline.
Are they going to count that? No.
No.
Bonham is fouled.
Bonham is the one perimeter player they have that is very good off the dribble. The other two guys are better shooters than they are off the bounce. But Bonham can take it. Fresno in the zone again. I like screening those top guys in the zone. You can get in a gap if you use that screen.
Taylor swings it. Now they work it inside, back outside. Look at the ball movement by the Utes. 5 on the shot clock. Pirtle on it, taken away by Russo.
Pirtle's having a very tough time right now.
Here's Jamel Taylor handing off to Carter. Nowhere for him to go, and now Marvell Harris. Carter draws the double. Right at Pirtle, missed it though. And Pirtle got hit in the face. That's the second foul on Terrell Carter. Your teams, your highlights, your scores, all in one place. Download Team Stream, the free app from Bleacher Report today. So Carter goes to the bench with 2 fouls, and Karachi Edo returns. So far, Pirtle 0-2 with 2 turnovers, although he does have 5 rebounds. Fresno State only has 1 rebound in this game. Pirtle right at Edo, and he's on the board with his first field goal.
That's a big-time move from the foul line. That was quick to the basket with that left hand. That's where you have to make the split right there.
Watson way off with the shot, though. Pirtle squeezes it in tight, nowhere for Bonham to go, brings it back out.
Well, you can tell from the scouting report, they want to take away Pirtle's left shoulder.
And Bonham had it poked away, a turnover. Here's Marvell Harris in transition. Harris throws it down.
This team does average 8 steals a game. That was one of the leaders in the Mountain West Conference. They take the ball away from their opponents a lot.
Their turnover margin, Fresno State, is plus 4.3. That's 6th best in the country.
Watch how they're taking that left shoulder away.
Taylor left open. Misses the three, and there's another Taylor with the rebound. This is Jamel. Harris, shot fake, and then he lost it. Dribbled it off his knee. But Utah gives it right back. And the ball bounces all around here in Denver. And Brandon Taylor decides to slow things up. Might be a good idea.
Jamel Taylor tends to get out of control at times. We saw him a lot in the Mountain West tournament last week. He's a good player, but he can get a little crazy.
Pirtle off the feed from Brandon Taylor. And Rodney Terry calls timeout. He's not happy with his team. 11:55 to go in the first half. Fresno's had a couple of highlight reel dunks, but Utah leads it 14-5. Saw Wichita State beat Vanderbilt. That should be a very good game against Arizona.
Very good game. It's a good Arizona team, not the usual team that Sean has, but they're going to have their hands full with that Wichita State defense and Fred Van Vliet and Ron Baker.
In this game, Pirtle has 5 rebounds, and the Bulldogs as a team have 2. Fresno State has missed 4 of its last 5 shots. Shot clock here at 7. And that one is good for Julian Lewis, his first buck of the day.
He's played very well at the end of the year, making threes, drives to the basket. Experienced kid, played at Texas for 2 years.
He's the only player on the Fresno State team that's appeared in an NCAA tournament game before. That was when he was with Texas. Chapman with the left hand.
I like Kuzma and I like Berkat Chapman. These kids are going to be good. They're very athletic. This can be a confusing, it's like a boxing one now. Berkat Chapman came all the way out with Marvell Harris that time.
That is fantastic defense by Chris Reyes of Utah, and then a foul at the other end. Chris Reyes only averages 8 minutes per game, but the junior just made an awesome play defensively. Utah by 9.
Way, and he reads where Karachi Edo is playing him, who tried to jump over the top. He goes the other way.
16-7, and that 3 is no good by Dakari Tucker, but another rebound for Utah. Taylor left open. And Harris with just the 3rd rebound of the game for Fresno State. Harris, tough shot, and he makes it. Marvell Harris, the senior from Rialto, California.
He was a one-man wrecking crew in the Mountain West this year, player of the year.
And a member of the all-defensive team. Fresno State has made 3 straight field goals. And Chapman breaks through for 2.
That was a really, really good pick and roll and a good pass.
Oh, great steal by Taylor, and then a foul by Harris. That could be a flagrant 1. That's what Larry Kryskowiak is looking for. That was an intentional foul by Harris, but it's not whistled that way. Very easily could have been.
Very easily could have been. Let me take a look at this pick and roll here. Oh, that's the foul, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was nobody up ahead.
No question.
Pirtle. Oh, he missed it. Gets it back. And he's fouled by Taylor. Pirtle's missed a couple of easy ones, but because of these rebounds for Utah, they continue to get extra possessions.
I'm going to say he's missed 3 shots that he probably, you know, when you shoot 66 for the season, you certainly aren't missing out any of those.
5th in the country in field goal percentage, but 2 of 5 to start today, and he misses the free throw. Who's going to make the most shots? Who has more points in the second half? Play the Capital One NCAA Tournament Run Game on NCAA.com and in the March Madness Live app. Pirtle misses a pair. That's been one area he's done a much better job at this year, shooting 68% from the line compared to just 44% last year.
And that's important for him because he's taken 230 free throws this season.
Kyle Kuzma at the scorer's table for Utah. Russo turnaround 3, air ball. Good defense and anticipation of Russo, but he gives it right back. Could not get a handle on it.
That was really good defense on that pick and roll by Russo. He saw it, he stepped up, but they turned it over.
Tucker. Edo got in the way of that one. Pirtle saves it to Bonham. Shot clock at 15. Bonham right back into the paint. Pirtle the rebound. Pirtle the putback, no good. Chapman had it, and somehow Fresno State comes away. Julian Lewis, 15-footer. Air ball. Pirtle didn't have to do that. He was going out of bounds. Pirtle tried to save it, and it goes over to Fresno State.
I guess he thought one of his guys might have blocked the shot, is my guess. This is one hammering on the glass, Andrew.
Yeah, 17-6 in terms of rebounds as Taylor launches from another zip code.
That's not a good shot.
How is Fresno State going to get over this rebounding woe?
Well, you know what? They're very well schooled offensively by Larry Kristoviak. They always have their big guys down on the low post. That's why. Like that.
Kuzma, the flush off the feed from Pirtle.
What a big pass by Pirtle. That's what I mean. He catches it, and he's constantly looking for guys cutting. That time, Kuzma cutting to the basket, so athletic, he's going to finish that.
Inside 10 on the shot clock. Julian Lewis, deep 3. Air ball. Fresno State out of sorts, down 11.
You know, when you have a guy like Jakob Pirtle, even if he's not making baskets, at 7 feet, he can make his teammates better. They never stand around. What a guy to play with and have him in the low post. But this kid he's such a presence inside. He puts a lot of pressure on you in terms of the glass, in terms of his passing ability. When you're first-team All-American, you don't do just one thing. You do a lot of things, and he does a lot of things.
First Ute with 600 points in a season since Andrew Bogut 11 years ago. Only needed 1 coming into the night to get over the 600 mark. Kuzma knocks down the jumper.
This is a very disciplined team, this Utah team. They know what they want to do on both ends of the floor, and that's how they play. Larry Kristoviak has them well schooled in how to play offense and defense.
Fresno State 3.5 minutes without scoring. Edo changes that. Fresno State hasn't scored much, but when they do, they've been some highlight reel dunks.
Great dribble penetration there by Marvell Harris.
Loveridge feeds Pirtle. 4 on the shot clock. Pirtle's shot is blocked by Edo. They got to put one up, and a shot clock violation against Utah.
Let's take a look at this penetration here. Marvell Harris taking it to the basket. Nobody helps the helper that time. Jakob Poeltl stepped up to help on Marvell Harris. Kyle Kuzma got caught standing flat-footed, didn't rotate in front of Caraccietto.
Harris.
They've taken some tough shots. They have to be a little bit more patient on offense.
Bonham spins and scores. Pretty move lane for Lorenzo Bonham, the junior out of Inkster, Michigan.
Through the legs, spin. Nice move.
Meanwhile, Jakob Poeltl has already collected 10 rebounds in this first half.
Pretty good for a guy who had just 9.
Russo passes on the shot. They work it around to Harris. Now Watson drives in. Good up fake by Watson. He missed it, but he's fouled. It's going to go on Poeltl.
Utah fouls for 42. His first personal.
Good job by Loveridge keeping Watson in front. And that's a foul.
First on Poeltl. He'll get a breather, and Chris Reyes returns to the game.
I always like taking a big guy out after he gets his first, because a lot of times the big guys, they can get their second quickly. Now, he is a senior, so you would hope not, but it happens a lot.
Guerrero's pass knocked out. Edo will come back in, and Carter's going to come out. So Rodney Terry's hoping that with Poeltl on the bench, maybe Edo can get going down low. Fresno State is 0 for 6 shooting the 3. So let's see if they turn inside now. And a bump on the perimeter and another foul against Utah. First on Reyes.
They're not getting any splits of this zone. You got to make 2 guys guard you.
Guerrero front rims the 3. And again, Fresno State not able to get an offensive rebound. It's one and done. Loveridge for 3. Offensive rebound for Utah on the putback. Chris Reyes lays it in.
I mean,
and
20
Bulldogs, yeah, just getting crushed on the glass.
23-7 on the glass. That's incredible.
And 10 offensive rebounds for Utah. There's Edo off the alley-oop. 4th dunk by Fresno State. And a turnover by Utah.
Yeah, that was a bad pass. I don't think Brandon Taylor, he wanted to pull that one back, but too late.
Harris reverse lay-in won't go, and once again, Utah's there to clear it. It's Kuzma.
I don't know about that pass.
Sloppy on both ends right now. Russo attacks. Oh! And somehow it comes to Watson and the foul. You can't make that play up.
No.
Russo. Well, first it's Edo with the alley-oop dunk. Then Russo was trying to make one for the highlights after Edo threw it down. This was the Russo one. And then Watson got an N1. On what that could possibly mean, check out the hashtag on Twitter or go to TrueTVIsAthing.com. Fresno State has 7 field goals. 4 of the 7 are dunks. And the Bulldogs have scored 5 points in a row as we check in with Jamie Erdahl.
I guess that means they're getting the ball to the basket at some point, but the message coming out of the Fresno State huddle was, right now, Utah wants this game more than you guys do. They're getting killed on the boards. They have to find a body when they are on defense and box out. Offensively, they wanted that last basket to be a momentum pusher, but they're way too stagnant. They need to pass more.
All right, Jamie, thank you very much. 6 on the shot clock for the Utes.
And Fresno State came with a different defense, a 1-2-2 zone this time.
Bonham just gets it off, and with the shot clock expiring, put it in. That was great defense by Fresno State for 29.5 seconds.
It really is, but this Utah team really moves the ball well. They had it inside out with Pirtle. He's a great passer. Even though they didn't get a shot when he kicked it out to Loveridge, that was some pass by the big kid.
Russo turns it over.
What a pass.
Bonham straightaway 3. Edo rips it away. Russo had it, lost it. Bonham collects it.
Bonham is probably the weakest shooter on the team.
Taylor, nothing weak about that. Strokes the 3, and it's 31-16. First NCAA tournament appearance for Fresno State since 2001, when Jerry Tarkanian was the head coach. 6th appearance overall for the Bulldogs. Watson launches and hits. Paul Watson providing a spark off the bench. He's got points.
Well, Marvell Harris, little penetration there, was able to kick it to somebody, and that was a well-contested shot. That was a good shot by Watson, who has been struggling.
2 years ago, Watson, the Mountain West Freshman of the Year. Now in a reserve role for Rodney Terry. Pirtle draws the double. Throws it out towards midcourt and backcourt against Utah. Coming up on AT&T at the half, scores and highlights and the latest NCAA tournament news. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. That's the 10th Utah turnover in this game. They only averaged 12 per game.
And that was a good job there by Fresno State, pressuring Pirtle that time, and he threw it away. I'll tell you, if you're Fresno, you got to really start on the, well, you start by not turning it over. You got to get on the glass. Because if they don't get on the glass in this game, they're going to have no chance. That's what Rodney Terry's going to be really upset about, because a lot of that, Andrew, is effort. They're not putting in the effort on the glass.
That 3 by Loveridge won't go, and we have a whistle inside. And this foul is going against Fresno State. It'll be a 1-and-1 for the Utes.
And one thing about Utah, they are sending 3 guys to the glass every single time, and they go to the backboard very hard. So that's something that Fresno, they have to be ready for in the second half. This half is basically done. They've got to regroup at halftime and make a concerted effort to rebound the basketball. Then you can start doing some other things.
Pirtle makes the front end of the 1-and-1. (33-19) in favor of the Utes. Pirtle will come out.
And this zone, Andrew, has taken away all of Marvell Harris's dribble penetration. He's not getting to the free throw. He has shot a ton of free throws this year, but against this zone, not doing it.
Fresno State can take the clock almost all the way down to the end. Difference of 1 second between the game clock and the shot clock. Good news for Fresno State. They have won 8 times this year when trailing at the half, but they have their work cut out for them in the second. Watson strokes another 3. Watson's got 9 points. Bonham at the buzzer. Well, for a team that was out-rebounded 26-8, to only be down 11 at the half, things could be a lot worse for Fresno State.
It absolutely could be a lot worse, but they're playing hard defensively. They've been turning Utah over, and that's why they're still hanging around. Box-out position. That's their problem right now. Let's get a couple of stops and a couple of rebounds, and then let's see what happens. But the one thing about Fresno, too, they didn't do a good job being patient on offense when they had opportunities.
And Utah starts the second half with a turnover. That was a big problem for them in the first half. Bonham takes it away 2-on-1. Bonham lays it in.
For Utah, number 15, Lorenzo Bonham.
I don't know, what are you going to say about that? They start out, get a turnover, which they had forced Utah into a lot of turnovers, and then they just give it right back, and it becomes a layup. In this zone, they have not been able to solve. No penetration.
And Russo turns it over.
Well, you see there, I mean, that's just an awful pass by Cullen Russo. I mean, that's just a lazy, lazy pass. That's the only way you could characterize it as.
9 turnovers for Fresno State. Now they've got 10. It's 11 turnovers for Utah. Good anticipation by Russo, and Utah with another turnover. Guerrero missed it. Edo does not. That's the 5th dunk tonight by Fresno State.
That was a terrific play by Cullen Russo on the other end. They tried to lob it into Pirtle. He saw it from the weak side, and he came and he got it.
Kuzma back out Loveridge. He launches from deep, and here is Julian Lewis in transition. Lewis, too strong, and a whistle. And this is going to be a foul against Utah.
Well, Fresno ends up with the great steal by Cullen Russo. They run the floor hard. Caraccietto coming down the middle and does a great job of finishing up the fast break.
Fouls on Kuzma. That's his second. Half of Fresno State's field goals have been dunks tonight. Lewis. And Pirtle with his 11th rebound. His career high is 14 rebounds.
He has tremendous hands. When he gets his hands on it, and he rebounds everything with 2 hands, and when he gets his hands on it, it's his.
Bottom, and that is swatted by Edo. Caraccietto with the block.
Bottom coming in a little weak on that one. Got to go hard with that.
Marvell Harris has just 4 points. He's got to get going for Fresno State to get back in this ball game. Averages 20 points per game, the Mountain West Player of the Year. Guerrero is scoreless tonight as well. And Guerrero turns it over. Russo took a gamble, tried to go for the steal. It leads to 2.
That's a great high-low where one big guy goes to the high post, the other big guy's down low, and he's able to get it into him. That's a great high-low play.
Pirtle has just 1 rebound fewer than the entire Fresno State team as Edo connects to make it 37-26. Loveridge over Harris. It won't go, and Edo is there for the board. Edo baseline jumper.
Steve showing some life. It's what you said at halftime. You let these guys hang around. You hammering them on the glass, and you're only up by 11. And maybe that wasn't a good sign for Utah.
5 rebounds this half for Fresno State. And a foul is called on Guerrero. Fresno State has cut it down to single digits.
You know, you let in the NCAA tournament, you gotta put your pedal to the metal when you have the opportunity, and Purdue just let them back in, took the foot off the gas, and the game got stolen. It's one of those games, I think, that, you know, coaches always have games they take to the grave with them. Matt Payne is going to take that one with him. I have a bunch myself.
In this game, this is the smallest the margin has been since it was 18-9. Marvell Harris the steal. Harris and the foul. And here come the Bulldogs.
Well, that's another bad pass by Pirtle there, looking opposite, and a nice finish by Marvell Harris. And now this team is just, they're getting it done on the defensive end. They've already forced 3 turnovers in the second half. Larry Krzysztofiak talked about that, and his team is turning it over at a very high rate right now.
Harris completes the three-point play. He's second in school history in steals and second in the Mountain West, averaging better than 2 per game. And all of a sudden, a 7-0 run. We got a 6-point game. Taylor is fouled by Lionel Ellison.
Fresno State foul number 15, Lionel Ellison. That's his first.
Brandon Taylor is really quick with the ball.
Rodney Terry made the point to us yesterday that the pressure of playing on this stage won't be a factor for his team. As he said, they've been playing tournament basketball as Taylor connects for the last 3 weeks. If Fresno State did not win the Mountain West tournament title, they had no chance of getting into the field. So their backs have been against the wall coming down the stretch here. And if they can play loose, you never know what can happen as they've cut it down to 8. Harris fakes the 3, drives in, off glass and good. And Marvell Harris now starting to get going.
And that's a good sign for Fresno State because he's a terrific player and he can put up points in bunches.
Taylor calls for a screen. Tucker feeds Pirtle. A cutting Chapman missed the dunk. And Pirtle comes away with it. Right back inside to Chapman. Rodney Terry looking for a travel, no call. Taylor will back it out.
Chapman took off from too far.
Taylor out to Tucker for 3. It's good. Dakari Tucker leads the team, shooting 41% from deep.
That's what he is. The bulk of his shots come from the three-point line. He can knock those out.
Fresno State red hot in the second half. They've made 4 consecutive shots. Harris. Pirtle was able to rip it away. Paul Watson crashed hard but couldn't get it. Chance of Let's Go Utah from a large contingent of Utes fans here in Denver. Taylor to Pirtle! Oh, Jakob rises up and throws it down.
They have stayed too long with the dribbler on these pick and rolls and letting Pirtle get to the basket like that.
Harris to Watson.
The Fresno State number 3, Paul Watson.
Chapman again, and he's called for an offensive foul.
Offensive foul, number 0, Chapman.
Good job there, stepping in.
Into the Fresno State lineup, number 0, Julian Lewis returns along with 24, Terrell Carter in for shot. Number 20, Chris Reyes returns.
Chris Reyes back into the game, and Pirtle will get a breather.
Also for the Utes, number 21,
Jordan Loveridge returns as well for the Utes. And Lorenzo Bonham goes to the bench. Utah lost 8 games this year. Only 1 of their 8 losses was to a team not in the NCAA tournament field. That was to Stanford by 2 in overtime. They lost 3 times to Oregon this year, including the Pac-12 championship game last Saturday. And they got blown out 88-57. Larry Krzysztofiak said they watched the tape of that game as Lewis hits. And he said it was good for us to watch that tape. Trying to get us fired up coming back into the tournament.
Well, they came out fired up, but they're not as fired up here in the second half.
6-point game. Taylor and the foul. Brandon Taylor with a big bucket.
This kid is really quick with the ball there. It goes behind the back. Or was that be through the legs? Just a great finish there.
Brandon Taylor from Los Angeles and has some off-the-court interests. Isn't that right, Jamie Erdahl?
That's correct. We're doing a public service announcement to all casting directors on behalf of Brandon Taylor. From LA, he has the acting bug. He was in 2 plays in high school. The Bad Seed, where he played the janitor, and The Fantastics, where he couldn't really remember his role. He also took an acting class when he's at Utah. The drama school tried to get him to even minor in it. It overlapped too much with basketball, but he says when his playing career is done, whether that be in college or on to the pros, he does want to move to LA and start performing in some plays. He's a really charismatic kid, really funny, and his favorite actor is Mark Wahlberg.
And a very smart guy as well. He'll have the smarts to make it the Pac-12 Scholar Athlete of the Year, Brandon Taylor. One free throw for Julian Lewis. And a 7-point game with 12:02 to go.
We're not seeing the offensive rebounding that we saw in the first half so far for Utah. But you have to give Rodney Terry's team credit. Whatever he told them at halftime, they're doing it much better.
Inside 10 on the shot clock. Taylor slips and turns it over. And we have a foul behind the play. And Fresno State's not happy because Marvell Harris had a run-out breakaway.
Wow, that the referee should not call that.
Let's take a look at the replay. Taylor,
that is without a doubt a flagrant.
Should be a flagrant one.
There's no question.
Intentional foul call, number 11, Brandon Taylor.
The officials are huddled up, and they have called a flagrant one. We're back to Denver in a moment. So Fresno State will have 2 shots and the basketball.
And you know, if Marvell Harris lays the ball in the basket and then that's called, the basket would be good, then it would be a flagrant one, then they'd get the ball and the 2 free throws. That would have really been a tough one.
Fresno State in the first 16.5 minutes of this game only scored 13 points. In the last 12 minutes, they've scored 28 points. And they've got it down to 6, and it's their ball with 11:36 to go.
You know, sometimes, Andrew, it just boils down to competing harder. There's no magic. This was about them starting to play, and now they're playing.
Bulldogs have scored on 8 of their last 9 trips, with 11.5 to go in the second. Lewis. These Bulldogs are on fire here in Denver. It's a 4-point game.
I mean, that was terrible defense by Kyle Kuzma. He switched on to Julian Lewis and basically let him shoot that.
Utah led by as many as 15, and we have a foul on Terrell Carter. That's his 3rd.
His 3rd personal, and the 4th foul is now.
I mean, take a look at this defense on Julian Lewis here. He's coming now into the lane. He's got Kuzma on him, and they just run in. I mean, you got to fight over the screen.
Turnover by Utah. Lewis cuts it down to 2. A 21-10 run. Once again, Denver seeing the lower seed make a comeback, but Lewis called for a foul on the perimeter.
I mean, that's just a terrible pass. I know it goes in the book as a steal, but that is an awful pass.
And the 16th turnover against Utah. Their season high is 20. There's 17. Watson does not have numbers and wisely pulls it back.
But let's give Fresno State credit. They average over 8 steals a game, which is in the top 40 in the country.
Fresno State, which was getting demolished on the boards in the first half, this would give them the lead. Oh, baby, the Bulldogs in front. First lead they've had all night.
This thing is coming out of nowhere. They need a timeout. Larry Krystkowiak really does need a timeout. And they better get the big man the ball if they're not going to call him.
Kuzma had it poked away by Watson. Last touch by Watson, and the shot clock at 6. Pirtle just 4 points here in the second half.
I mean, here's a guy who's been about as consistent a player as there's been in the country this year, and he is out of it completely in this half.
Julian Lewis has 12 points this half. And that one rattles in for Lorenzo Bonham, putting Utah back in front.
And right now, Utah cannot guard Julian Lewis and Marvell Harris. And they're in man-to-man. They should get the pick and roll because they haven't guarded the pick and rolls very well at all either. And there it is.
Lewis feeling it. That one won't go, and the rebound to Loveridge. It's a big rebound by the senior Loveridge with Watson in good position. Loveridge feeds Kuzma down low for 2. Jordan Loveridge getting it done on both ends of the floor for the Utes.
Yeah, that was a good play there, throwing it inside, good position.
32 points in the paint for Utah. When they score 40 points in the paint this year, they're 12-0.
Utah back to that zone.
Harris, deep 3. Taylor got knocked down. And Utah comes away with it. Brandon Taylor at the scorer's table for Utah. Cullen Russo, Karachi Edo. Set to check in for Fresno State with 8.5 to go. Loveridge!
He's a knockdown three-point shooter. He just screened and stepped back.
7-0 run for Utah to go back ahead by 6. Fresno State calls timeout with 8:26 to go.
Well, Jordan Ludwig, a knockdown three-point shooter, got to be up on him nice and early. 6 points. Stayed in here, but they're playing much harder in the second half. They're playing them on the glass. They're not being manhandled like they were in the first half. Maybe a little nervous in the first half. Now they're into the flow of the game.
Fresno State had 9 field goals in the first half. Here in the second, they're 10 out of 15.
This is a very confusing defense, too.
Edo from the baseline. Oh, halfway down and out. And there is Loveridge, who's really been active the last couple of minutes for the rebound.
They're in a zone. Brandon Taylor's face guarding somebody. It can be confusing. You got to play like it's man-to-man defense.
Loveridge nearly lost it with 7:40 to go in the second half. It's a 7-0 run for the Utes. Kuzma trying to make it 10-0. He can't, and Guerrero has the rebound. Guerrero is still scoreless tonight for Fresno State.
Yeah, they need to get him going. The other two guards have been pretty good in this half.
Guerrero trying to get on the board, and he does. There's a 2 for Cesar Guerrero.
He listened to you. You probably should get into coaching.
I don't think I'd last very long. Would you be my assistant?
Absolutely.
You would be an assistant?
Yes, I'd be an assistant.
Really?
I'd be the old man helping out.
Wide open is Bonham for 3.
Three-point basket, Lorenzo Bonham.
He's been, from beginning to end, the best guy for Utah tonight, I think.
He leads all scorers with 15 points. Lorenzo Bonham, 7 of 10 from the floor.
They got to get the first-team All-American back going.
Edo right at Pirtle, and Edo stepped out of bounds. Lorenzo Bonham having a big night here in Denver. The junior from Michigan puts 3 more on the board. 57-50 in favor of Utah. Do want to give a quick congratulations to one of the more famous alums in Fresno State history. That's Oakland Raiders quarterback Derek Carr. Him and his wife had their second child last night. Decker Luke Carr, born late last night. We congratulate the Carrs, I'm sure, even though they got a young one again in the house, that Derek is watching this one. His alma mater down by 7 as we approach 6:20 to go. Kuzma had a poke today. 18th turnover by Utah. Russo to Lewis in the corner.
They have such quick hands. They have, in this game, 14 steals. That's incredible.
Season high is 16. Harris misses. He was looking for a foul call, didn't get it. Utah well above their season average in turnovers. Second foul on Julian Lewis. And team foul number 6 against the Bulldogs. So Utah will be shooting the rest of the way. That last rebound was Jakob Pirtle's 15th, and that is a new career high for the sophomore out of Austria.
He's got to start getting involved down here a little bit.
They give it to him down here. Guarded by Edo. Back out Loveridge.
How many times have we seen Jordan Loveridge throw it in the post, his man digs a little bit, they throw it back to him, and he knocks out a 3. I think that's the 3rd time it's happened in this game.
Utah has made 8 of its last 9 field goals. It's a 13-2 run for the Utes, and Russo coughs it up. Fresno State went ahead by 1, but since then, it's been all Utes. And Russo with a silly foul on the perimeter. That'll send Taylor to the line for a 1-and-1. Right now, hashtag TrueTV is a thing is trending on Twitter. To find out what that means, check out TrueTVIsAthing.com. You'll find game info, hilarious video clips of shows like Impractical Jokers, Hack My Life, and much, much more.
1-and-1.
1-and-1 for Brandon Taylor, 80% from the line this year. Taylor is playing in his 132nd career game. That's 4th all time in Utah and 2 away from tying Andre Miller and Drew Hansen for the school record.
And one thing that Utah has to do now, Andrew, they got to keep playing. That's the important thing now. And we've seen too many teams at this point slow it up. Keep playing.
Taylor the steal. Taylor lays it in. A 14-point lead for Utah thanks to a 17-2 run.
And it came quick. Whew. And this defense has Fresno State mystified.
Watson's scoop shot won't go.
I would continue to attack. Basketball is a game of momentum, and when you have it, you need to keep going because it's very easy to lose it.
Pirtle in the post. And Guerrero is called for a foul with 8 seconds on the shot clock.
You know, Karachi Edo's physicality has bothered Pirtle a little bit in this game. Because he's not that tall, but he's a strong kid, as you can see by his shoulders.
They actually called the foul on Edo. And it's 2 shots for Pirtle. Download the CBS Sports app right now. Follow your brackets, watch highlights, and get instant teams and upset alerts. Download the CBS Sports app. (11-16) for Jakob Pirtle, the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Pirtle could have been a lottery pick last year, certainly a first-round pick, decided to come back and has really improved in his sophomore season as Harris gets the roll on a 3.
That was going in, and then it went back in.
Utah gunning for its 27th win of the year. Pirtle is fouled. With 3:36 to go, Utah trying to put away pesky Fresno State. This half 10 out of 13 shooting, but since then they've gone 2 for 7. And Utah has gone off to take a 67-53 lead. First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins tomorrow at noon on ESPN2 and watch ESPN. For more information on times and listings, go to ncaa.com. That is out of bounds to Utah.
A poor box out there on the foul shot. Loveridge gets in there, knocks it off his foot.
Loveridge has 12 points, but he has done so much more tonight than score just 12.
Steady. He's so steady. No mistakes. He's one of the few guys that I don't think turned it over that much.
Taylor. Bulldogs need offense quickly, and Harris is fouled. That stops the clock with 3:07 to go.
Well, I take it back. Loveridge made some shots, but he turned it over.
This will be 2 shots for Marvell Harris. Fresno State came in winners of 9 straight games, the longest of Rodney Terry's tenure with the Bulldogs. One of the keys tonight for Fresno State, their inability, a lot of outside shots. They had 10 threes in the Mountain West Championship game against San Diego State. Only 5 threes tonight for the Bulldogs.
You know what? They better not fall asleep.
Kuzma traveled.
I thought he jump stopped. Now, if he jump stopped and moved his foot, then yes, it would be a travel. I thought that was a jump stop. Fresno State hits a shot here. That was a travel.
Edo, 67-57, a 10-point game, 2:45 to go.
And now the full court pressure. You got to keep attacking. You must attack full court pressure.
Guerrero going for the steal. Bonham able to hold on to it. Loveridge looking for Pirtle. He's got it in the post. Pirtle guarded by Edo. Blocked by Caraccietto. Pirtle gets it back. 2 on the shot clock. Loveridge picks it up. And a shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation.
We could be looking at a replay here.
Fresno State with the ball down by 10. That was the 20th turnover for Utah, which matches his season high. Harris spins. Nice dish. Edo the flush. Timeout Fresno State. They've cut it down to 8. 1:59 to go.
Take their pedal, take their foot off the accelerator and allow teams back in the game when they're dominating the game. I don't get it.
Well, earlier here in Denver, Purdue was up 13 with 3:19 to go and they lost. With 3:07 to go in our game here, Utah was up by 14. It's down to 8. 10 on the shot clock. Pirtle. He is bumped. Gets it to go and one. And a clutch bucket by the big man, Jakob Pirtle.
It was a clutch bucket by Pirtle. It was a great call by Larry Kristoviak to go into Pirtle there. He pivots twice. This is a double pivot, which is a great move. He keeps that pivot foot down and steps twice to give him some extension and lay it up. You know, Caraccietto's done a pretty good job on him tonight.
But that was Edo's 4th foul. 1:04 to go. Lead back up to double digits for Utah. They'll take on the winner of that game between Seton Hall and Gonzaga coming up next on True TV. Harris for 3. It's good.
He just shot over Taylor. They got to get somebody to the middle of the floor here. Right there. Now they got to go.
Kuzma to Pirtle. Loveridge holds on to it, and there's the foul by Watson.
That was good press offense there. They got the guy who took the ball out, Kuzma, ran to the middle of the floor. They got it to him. He passed it up, and they had no problems.
Jordan Loveridge.
Looks like it's going to come down to free throws for Utah. They make them, they win it. Loveridge out of West Jordan, Utah, the 2012 5A Player of the Year in the state. He's heavily recruited, goes to the Utes, and Loveridge having a very nice NCAA tournament game here tonight with 14 points.
I like what Utah did there, extending their pressure a little bit.
Harris gets it back and lays it in. Inside a minute to go, 8-point game.
Got a foul. You got a foul.
And there's the foul. 2 shots the rest of the way for Utah.
Lorenzo Bonham at the line.
Bonham rattles in the first one.
Bonham was terrific tonight, from beginning to end.
There's a lot of questions about Utah coming into the tournament on the heels of that blowout loss in the Pac-12 championship game against Oregon. They lost 88-57. Larry Kristoviak told us yesterday he's glad that they lost that game. He'd rather be in the tournament off a loss like that than on a 10-game win streak. Kind of a wake-up call for his team. And they got another wake-up call tonight. Fresno State went ahead by 1 with 10.5 to go, but the Utes have answered the bell.
Well, they went on that big run. As soon as Fresno State came back, they took control of this game by being patient on offense, getting good opportunities, and that defense really stiffened up that matchup, zone, pressure, sometimes man-to-man defense.
A 19-2 run blew the game open for Utah after Fresno State had taken the lead.
Now they just don't want to foul.
Taylor fouls with 26 seconds to go.
I want to know what Brandon Taylor, who is a senior, is thinking in that situation.
I want to know what Chris Koviak is thinking right now after seeing Brandon Taylor commit that foul.
Well, he's up 12 with 26.5 to go, so we won't really see what he's thinking, I don't think.
He gets called Coach K a lot. We asked him about that yesterday, and he said, hey, it's a lot easier to say that than trying to pronounce my last name. I've got 11 letters in my last name. It's no disrespect, as he said, to the real Coach K, but my guys just want to call me Coach K. I'm good by that.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be a hassle for him to sign autographs.
Takes a while.
Take a while.
Shot clock turned off, 10-point Utah lead. There's the foul by Watson. Utah has 16 assists tonight. When they have 15 assists or more in a game, they are undefeated. This will be their 17th win this year. 17-0 when they have 15 or more assists.
But they do have to take care of the ball a lot better.
Coach K will have some ammunition for practice tomorrow with 20 turnovers.
I think it'd be more in the film session because you really can't do much physically tomorrow, but in the film session, it'll be a doozy. Even though this time of year, the truth is, who cares? Just win and keep going.
Turnover is a big thing for Utah, but when you look at Fresno State, the rebounds, as Harris strokes another 3 and Rodney Terry calls timeout. Utah out rebounding Fresno State tonight, 37-15. Hall and Gonzaga. Jakob Poeltl, 16 points and a career high 18 rebounds. He has more rebounds than Fresno State does tonight. Fresno State's season low rebounds is 25, so this will shatter that. Actually, in the game that Fresno had 25 rebounds, it was against New Mexico in late February. They won the game, but 15 rebounds will not cut it against Utah.
I don't know why they're fouling now. We are at the point where the game is over. Nine and 13.7. I don't know if we'll ever see that. Maybe we will.
Lineup, number 1, Isaiah Wright. Number 14, Dakari Tucker.
Chris Koviak's going to empty his bench, and the starters get a nice hand as they go to the sideline. A lot of Utah fans here in Denver. Points for Brandon Taylor. He gets a nice hand as he goes out. And we have the final 13 seconds of this one. Utah moving on to the second round. Harris will shoot a 3. Rebound comes to Gabe Beeler, and that will do it. Utah got a scare midway through that second half, but they go on to beat Fresno State 80-69 and advance on to the second round on Saturday.
give Utah credit. They came after him, they took the lead, and then they really bore down both on offense and defense. But they need a better game out of Jakob Poeltl. He rebounded great, but he did not play offensively as well as he's capable of, and as well as they need him to play as they move on in the tournament.
Utah will face either Seton Hall or Gonzaga. That one's set for approximately 10:45 Eastern Time here on True TV. Great season for Fresno State. 25 wins and their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2001. But the Bulldogs, the Mountain West tournament champions, are sent home after an 11-point loss. That is the end of the career for Marvell Harris, and what a brilliant career it was for the young man out of Rialto, California. But Utah prevails. Jamie Erdahl with Larry Kryskowiak.
Coach, this season you're unbeaten when you have 15 or more assists in a game. You have 16 tonight. What does that say about the way your offense was able to spread out and succeed against Fresno State?